All right. Going back again, are you settled? Life took a turn. I don't think the normal reality is going to be there. It's not going to go back normal. It's just one of those things that when you put enough of the pieces together and see what's happening and know that there's a vested interest in continuing it with reptiles, when they find good food and you're it, good luck. Good luck. You're not going to be physically devoured, but you're going to go through the process that is required to be producing loosh. Might as well be, if they wanted to crack my head open and get it in the adrenochrome form, that's exactly what would happen. I'd be murdered and I would be eaten. These are not people that I would suspect of these activities. They're actually opponents to the whole thing, which is kind of ironic. All the reptilianness one can have. That is, completely antithetical to what Christianity is supposed to be. This is a theme. This happens a lot. This is a more than once experience, so there's got to be something to that. In the absence of Jesus, is he's always reptile. They are part of this shenanigan, whatever form it is. That is that's a given. And then how there's more than one reptilian creates some sort of contact communication device. Little sister, she's reptile. She's got reptile. She's reptilian to some degree or another. I know it. It's a fact. I have some too. I'm not your eaty people variety. Of course, I like to think of myself different, but not those reptilians though. No, not the ones that are looshing people. No, I'm sure we're related. I'm sure. I don't do it unless I'm doing it sexually, and that's sex. That's a related process, but it's different things. I don't like to fuck the thing I eat, or vice versa. It. I don't like my veggies to touch my meat. I like everything nice and put together. All ADD and shit. Signs of reptilians: ADD. If you're not responding or putting out the proper behavior response, remember the complete control. So they're looking to get an effect that they may not get out of you. This may be the trigger to why you end up getting eaten on, as did I. I went back through the process and I experienced with eyes that could see more clearly what was going on. And I put it forward. I was like, I didn't never say, I never said I was any better or anything. I said, but I did experience having a level of stress that was there. You could go to work and have this stress, still experiencing it because they have extended into to the 10-day range how long they could not be letting me pay my phone bill, in which case my phone's already turned off and major crisis has begun. Because, mind you, they have timed this. You don't get to go to work. We're not having you today. We ate you yesterday. Take a day off and recuperate. The human's not aware of all the control and the supernatural abilities the reptile has, which belong to the human. They're just precious and they take them because they want them and they'll have them. That's a reptile for you. That doesn't mean that is just saying this person has X and X ability wielded by their shadow side, which they're not currently in any integration of. Reason for this? Religion. I can leave it there. I mean, it's a psychological process, very personal. I mean, what you got to do shadow work is totally dependent upon you, what you're willing to do when you realize it's not getting done. Now, here, I recognize it's not getting done. This thing's got a whole expanded fucking domain. It expanded it before my eyes. I watched it occur. I experienced it. So they're in an expanded domain. They done come out of the human where Jesus should have been. And the not doing this to another human would be uh, a greater gift upon the earth. But this treasure is to be processed, and I told it like I seen it, and I did not accept the role of I did anything to deserve it. That this was completely within their ability to maintain control, to manipulate. They adjusted the view of me till I was consumable, which has to be the right sort of method that can't hear you when you talk about them. They are turning me into the chicken nugget again. I've been the chicken nugget. The problem with turning me into a chicken nugget is the blowback that I get. It's where my victory occurs because I'm empowered by the audacity of making me a nugget. Sounds very, these are experiences, I've had them. They were strange and bizarre, you know. First off, realize if you're dealing with something that is consuming you or a part of you, your energy, that they're investing into this process, investments. So, boss is very generous. He gets me tacos. All these are means to an end for the reptile side. They're not doing it because it's a good thing to do or they want you to eat. They're doing it because there's a goal. If you don't know you're dealing with a reptile, that's one thing to get put into order. That's a fact now. Now that these two fucking details have risen and are together, I can say, oh, these connect. I can put it together all puzzly piece and all. And I'm not a puzzle. I don't like puzzles, so this will be a labor intensive experience, which creates more disharmony and chaos in my environment because the reptilians, even in this activity, will be invisibly whatever form they're at. Call it a little bug in my room or whatever the fucking form it does take, will physically take, will begin its domination campaign of the entire area. It will have to have complete control over everything, or food could not be consumed. You must terrify the human. You add to them, and you make that this choice. I experienced it. I had the armor of God on. Thank you, Jesus Christ, for putting it on me right before, because I'm sure to some degree that this is how I'm able to make it through and have this detailed recall back. How does it feel though? Do you feel like a victim for being chosen to be eaten? I believe that if you get loose from me, you're getting the good shit. Why would I think that? Years and years and years of focused activities, some right, some not so right, along these lines creates pathways. I'm not saying it's going to be a vampiric pathway upon my life because I'm not really accepting vampiric connections at this time. I'm not certain what's going on. I'm not fucking feeling comfortable going to work with that situation. Effectively without a job at the dismissed for build yourself. That's basically what they're saying, with the text of trying to make me out to be just high as hell and intolerable. No, this choice, they sniffed it out like reptiles. I seen all of it firsthand. That's how I got the clue. I was like, you're dealing with the monsters. They're smelling it. When they agree to the smell is right, they all get involved. None of them, not any single one, will break whatever is the spell or whatever. They're not talking to you as a person. You are no longer a person. You're dehumanized into the form of food they are about to consume. They have to apply some terror, which they can do very easily. Make stress me out. Any varied ways looking upon me trying to do life create stress, and I pointed this out. I made it apparent. I know it, but I don't like to expose the truth of that to someone else. But if you're gonna stand there and fucking nitpick while I paint, I find out that I don't react the same. I don't. I don't do. I can't do it right because you're eyeballing me. You're adding stress unto me. It charges up in a form of body sensation. They like to call it dope head. But it's the same as an empath. If you're getting anxiety and stress, you're going to be shaky. You're going to have the same fucking resultant physiologically. That's just the facts. They don't want that fact connected. They want it to be the lowest common denominator. You bad, no good. But that's not true. That's actually a lie used by the reptilian to consume. I caught a couple of these because there was pre-planned. Like I was trying to make sure the pieces I was cutting, which they didn't want me to do because it was going to stop feeding. Reptiles well aware, well advanced into what it's doing shit. I don't know yet. I'm not trying to have that sort of experience, but they, whatever's the unity of the three, have already decided this. This is what we've got this guy for. Because at any time he exhibits the wrong behavior and he's not renunciant to the old life in any sort of way, we're going to draw it up out of him. We're going to raffle through his mind's memories if they're appropriately able, like a Rolodex, and just read my thoughts and then begin to shit it back into my pineal gland and terrify me so they can eat the loosh, will then come off. Probably like some form of my aura, which I need to live. I don't wish to be devoured of, not eating my aura, motherfucker. So some form of warfare has now begun. Speaking of these things, is like their cardinal no no. You don't say this is happening. This doesn't happen. They gaslight you in every fucking way. You don't even know. Like their complete control requires them to take complete control. So areas where you should have some autonomy, you'll find they're stripped. Autonomy is lost. There's a thing going on. It's been gonna go on the whole time. So there's certain quirks to personality that now stand out because I recognize it. It's been made. A sane person would not go through this experience at all. You would not have a job because you don't have a job to go back to. If this happens to you, and it can happen anytime, which it's already qualified for any willy nilly. If they want to do it, they'll do it, and I'm it. They, they have been made aware. You're talking to all three, and then added fourth because I got to bring that one into the conversation of what is experienced. It's not. This is not pleasant. This is not going to have a good result. It's going to have. There will be reprisals. You know, they exact revenge in regards to things like this. So everything will be paid back, and they're very precise. But I've identified that they're using me to process a form of energy into the greatest fucking thing imaginable to them. Terror liquefied into light. They eating it. They eating it. I it. Not fun. I will never want to be in that fucking position again. I will know what's going on and I will be more able to deal with it rather than just, what was your tactic? The armor of God was placed on me by God. That's a fact. I went through that as an experience. There's nothing that they could say, which I immediately am aware of, even right now, attempts to separate God and me from one another. Because the thing that keeps me safe and able to witness this is my connection to God, which they will downplay, especially when you're the bad guy. You're just the drug addict. You don't have any God. Your God is not the same thing. Mine is greater. Yours is nothing. We eat you now. Let us prepare our food. They've been doing this for a while because you notice this. That the three reptilians know each other probably better than the brothers are aware of each other. They don't consider the humanity at all of what is being used to uh, complete the plans. They have plans. They have plans for us. They will find morsels, and they will feed. They get a lot of power from this feeding that occurs. It's very disruptive to your experience. Very bad. Not good. Will cause you problems. I literally had one of my front teeth come out. It came out. Came right. It wasn't even loose. It fucking came right out. I'm like, oh, this is not a good sign at all. From the day forward, it and the memory are like entwined. I will see my tooth gone, the symmetry of my mouth, one of the more important areas one rests their false belief in the appearances of things and shit. No illusion there. Some of the people that I'm able to get good information from that I need to stay alive, one of the card reader channels did her show. She didn't have makeup. She wasn't prepared. Spirit did her like that. And Spirit is doing me like that too, in a way, because it's providing me the necessary information in the mental realm to do whatever business needs to be done. And I'm not the mental realm's child. I'm a moon thing or something. I've got a crash zone where feelings and all the associated water and fire just fucking go boom. How's that working out for you? Uh, Currently I'm a chicken nugget of Pinnakin to be put in old dip containers to survive the apocalypse. And it's pissing me off too when I think about it because you're being violated and it pisses you off. Very near, it's got to be near to rape in the emotional experiences. I don't even want to say that. Saying it acknowledges the truth of it. And frankly, it's difficult. It doesn't want to be light of day. It is dark. It is real. And within it, I do believe, are all the possibilities of the evil shadow government. It would be where they're being projected from, projected powerfully, being put on the track to become reality, straight to DVD. Whatever words sound like, let me correlate what occurs. So they obviously have uh, some form of access to the projector of reality, which can be a person, it can be a place, it can be, there's many different ways to go about this. Reality is not generated in one place, it's emitting locally, I do believe, from different nodes, which are carrying this load that mixes individual single unit consciousness and the greater level up. Our community. Are you making a community action matter? Not at all. I'm just saying it's going there on its own because there is a community element. It's freaking me out every step I take. Once you see what's in the box, worldview blown up. There is no put it back in the box. This ranks right there with some of the trauma's greatest. Because, yeah, it shattered a part of my worldview that I thought I was going to rest in today to some degree. And I've not settled it down. There's a part of high, even other anxiety that is all new and bizarre. It's not directly connected to the phone issue shit, which is got me at a baseline. Now, this is what I think is happening too because of it, because The phone got into a period of where it didn't have the apps. It was in safe mode. I didn't put it in it with the intent to do that, and then I didn't get it out of it without having many failed attempts. It just didn't do what it said it was going to do. I'm putting activity of reptilians right there, doing all this to adjust the settings however they need them. They're in control. They're just supposed to be invisible, and then I recognize a hand's being placed on a whole area. And then with the motive, I have to convict it. I see you. I see you. I see what you're doing and why you're doing it now, how it's happening. I don't think there's any part of them at all that would agree with this. I expect some form of refute and return to being in trouble and bad, which I'm not going to be because I'm not. I didn't do anything to warrant this. I was dehumanized, which I don't even like to say, but definitely left where the human to all humans can be working together. They didn't want to be doing that. They didn't want to give me the number and the piece and let me go. They were busy with other. I didn't know. I'll never not know again. They have very powerful abilities. They use them, but they're not supplying the human with any of that information. They have the ability to not even let it seep in wrong, where one could maybe work it out in their dream or something like that. All these areas are fucking plasticed over, ready for splatter. Bada bim, that they're doing business as they've probably done it for longer than humans can be alive. And yeah, that's your alien you found. Oh, I do have alien contact. They don't want me to talk about it to even me. Oh, this is great. Yeah, I'm having that experience. This is what it is so far. Uh, to relive it is just as equal on par of trauma that you get from doing that. So it was like, do I want to do this? No, I don't want to experience the negative side. It's going to happen. And furthermore, the war will break out of good and evil. You told the guy about the reptile? I did. I did. I gave him my experience. And I'm not guilty of anything for having it. I'm going to be the one that's it. I'm aware of this. This doesn't change. What I do or don't do, that's a lie. They've already chosen me because I carried the load. Oh, you've been this guy for long enough. You've probably done it with your sex life or some weird practice. That's right. Reptiles know that. That's why they're using me as a advanced form of food processor. Just add loosh. Yeah, you terrify it, and that's not hard to do. I do go to shaking and have body responses. They go to embellishing them, making them more palatable. I remember what was said and I sent it back. What is going to be the reaction if the reptilian doesn't want to be seen within the host? It could be anything. They don't respond well to any intrusion, any calling out. The reptile does not. There's a fundamental Christian esque person, at least in one of them. And as a friend, I would want him to have some mastery or control over this sort of thing. If it's going on, it's not just going on with me. It's got other cash spots. There's other ways where these three things come together and it's go time. They get to eat and they love it because they're getting raw, fucking spiritualized power off my aura and they're eating it by terrifying me in the form of stress. It causes it to surface, which they can point at and then get into a self-feeding sort of burn. All right, that's all I can do. It's sucking the energy right out of me just saying it. is just horrible. And I'm not giving a free pass for the experience. They have very subtle ways of corralling me back into the don't ask, don't tell, or don't, you didn't see nothing. Whatever the extortion racket is a higher dimensional, still can see it. I see you. Hello. I see what you're doing. It's not going to work because I'm not going to accept it. It is not accepted. You do not have the authorization to feast on my aura for any reason at all. In fact, you're in deeper trouble with the Lord. He wants this uh, witness because this is an outlaw practice going on of the lowest variety where it should not be. That's fucked up. I mean, they say this is usually how it occurs. This is usually what is, you have a worldview or something in the reality that's acting up or being strange. You can find where it's being manifested straight from. And in a situation like this, oh yeah, this is doing it's definitely, it's being used. What about work tomorrow? Dude, I'm not getting up and going a goddamn anywhere with these people. I will not do it until there's some sort of understanding. It is not worth it to be at risk. It's like go to maybe die, maybe just be murdered and done with, you know. Reptilians have the ability to take over the consciousness and get business done. They can even block out the memory and the detailed evidence of that within the host's head. It doesn't require giving the fucking human part any information. They're actively sealing it up so it doesn't flow, to be quite honest. And the activity is what they got to do to stay alive. And they're thriving. These things are eating good. They're enjoying it. They're putting their special processor unit on the shelf where it will have a place. Yeah, I'm a apparatus in some reptile's house, some coffee grinder sort of thing. If you don't think you're an appliance, check out my video why you're an appliance because you're doing something weird and you're probably not aware of it. I haven't made that video yet, so yeah. See, we're attempting to do something real and difficult. We don't always succeed, but we never stop. And every so often, you find a nugget like I found here. This is a gold fucking nugget, a big one too. I am vexed by having to pull it out of the ground. Oh man, this is more than you're going to be able to quantify. It's a big nugget. It is. It's like not only are your friends immediately not your friends and eating you, void of all Jesus, any of the salvageable activities of the Christ being, uh, I hear crickets. What arises out of that hole? Reptilian Draco aliens doing the business of you're going to get eaten and shut up about it. Talk all you want. You're still food. There's nothing you can do. They're not interested in any development of you. That part is at odds with the human part, which is wondering now, seeing the strange antithesis of why there's some support and then there's suddenly it's the exact opposite. You're not going to be able to get any money. It's like the hatred is clear. The hatred is the reptile. It provides a lot of proper modifications where there would be none. And they like stuff like that. That's how they do it. The whole environment becomes their station to do the thing that they're doing it. They're doing it. They're eating us. Who else? I'm not sure. I know they're not experiencing any of these things. I saw the affliction when I listened to their music. That's, I would call it evil country. It's a thing. It exists. when you hear it and if you're responding viscerally to something's not right here, something's wrong, you will find it in these songs. And they're all under the spell that these songs are designed to produce, which is one of shame, guilt, and whatever else is required to keep you down, me up. And it also has a very active blinder so that one aspect can do whatever it's doing to continue, which that's all they do. So there's no telling what it's actually opening or what is the state of the astral tire shop. I got took over by a gang. I got took over by a gang of renegade reptiles to be assumed to have many a grays at their disposal, other varied sub Draco minions. They roll deep and with complete unpleasantness, they will fill the space. Oh, that's not the video you wanted to make. You can't even relive it. No, it's zap. It took all everything I got.